Boston Celtics came into this series against the New York Knicks as heavy favorites. They had decisive victories throughout the entire regular season, going up 4-0 in the regular season series. And in both games 1 and 2, they at least at one point in these games held a 20-point lead. However, they did end up blowing both of these games and now face an 0-2 series hold. The first aspect many people will go to is shooting variance. The Celtics have missed 75 3-point attempts in the first 2 games, and this harps back to the age-old quote, live by the 3, die by the 3. However, it's the quality of 3-point attempts the Celtics are taking that has led to their downfall, and that's a major credit to the Knicks defense. In Game 1, the Celtics had a lot of looks shot by historically poor 3-point shooters, and plenty of looks that were well beyond the 3-point line. The Knicks defense got back in transition and even in semi-transition, limiting the Celtics to just 2 3-point attempts in transition and only converted 3 out of 12 3-pointers in semi-transition. The other 3-pointers came in the half court, where once again New York did a great job in holding Boston to 10 out of 46 attempts in the half court. A big factor to Boston's 3-point success, at least in the regular season, was the assisted 3-pointers. However, in Game 1, only 50% of their 3-pointers taken were off of assisted passes, and that's well below their average in the regular season. To make up for the lack of assisted 3-pointers, the Celtics took a lot more 3-pointers off the dribble, and some looks were clean, like this look from Derek White. But then if you go to this other play where Tatum is trying to size up Cat and ends up taking a poor 3-pointer from deep. In Game 1, Boston couldn't get New York in rotation by hunting mismatches. On this rep, Tatum takes on Mitchell Robinson on the switch and takes a very contested 3-pointer by another New York big man. And this was a theme in Game 1. Boston only knocked down 2 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, and these were due to getting the Knicks in rotation. Once again, credit to the Knicks defense by only giving the Celtics 9 wide open 3-point attempts out of their 60 attempts on the night. And according to some advanced statistics, 66% of the Celtics 3-point attempts were solidly or even well contested 3-point attempts. And the Celtics only converted 27% of these very looks. Another reason why the Knicks have been executing so well defensively is that they're getting great contests on these 3-point attempts. In Game 2, Boston changed it up a little bit, at least offensively. They set up a lot more drive and kick opportunities, operating more in the fast break, and this translated to 9 uncontested looks in the first half alone, matching their total from Game 1. However, in another fourth quarter collapse, the Celtics shot just 2 out of 11 from the 3-point line. And yet again, this is attributed to the Knicks' improvement on the defensive end. Their rotations were better in terms of their recovery, and they were forcing the shooter into settling into poor 3-point looks. And to put a bow on these Boston perimeter shooting woes, out of 100 attempts, only 3 of those shots were generated from double teams. OG Anunoby, McCall Bridges, Josh Hart have done phenomenally on the defensive side for the New York Knicks, as they have been providing tenacious defense, not giving an inch of space for this explosive Celtics team to get any type of quality looks from deep. Like, it's one thing to be an offensive juggernaut, but the reason why the Celtics are choking is because they're getting strangled by the Knicks defensively, especially in the fourth quarter. Now, the 3-point shooting woes isn't the only reason why the Celtics are in this 0-2 hole. In fact, their superstar, at least quote-unquote superstar, Jason Tatum, has struggled mightily this series, only shooting 12 out of 42 for just 29% from the field. And this harps back to a lot of poor decisions, either him taking bad looks or passing out of very good drives to the basket that could have been good looks at the rim, and then settling for more bad 3-point opportunities. And this is a huge reason why the Boston Celtics offense has dried up in the fourth quarter. Jason Tatum has simply not been good in this series, and we still have to question, when is Jason Tatum going to truly arrive as the undisputed superstar for the Boston Celtics. I'm hearing time in and time out, let's give Jason Tatum his flowers. For the last two postseasons, it's been very hit or miss, to say the least. He's been solid at times, but also has looked ice cold at times. And that's simply not the traits that I want in the best player on the planet, especially the best player on a championship winning team. To talk about the Knicks, I've been harping on the Celtics shooting woes, but these Knicks have been doing so well in the clutch, and that mainly goes to Jalen Brunson. We saw on the end of the round one series against the Detroit Pistons, he did so well in the clutch, especially in games 3 and 4, but then in the closeout game on the road in game 6, when the game was tied and the Knicks were rallying at that point, Jalen Brunson does what he does, and he knocks down a three-pointer to give the Knicks the lead for good. And they close out that series in 6, but in game 1 of this Eastern Conference semifinals matchup, he did a great job in spurring the game 1 comeback, and he also sank the go-ahead free throws in game 2. McCall Bridges comes up with 2 huge defensive stops on each of the game's final plays to lift the Knicks to this 2-0 series lead. The first one came against Jaylen Brown, where he stripped him when Jaylen Brown was trying to get the game-tying three-point attempt. And in game 2, he locked up Jason Tatum, blocking what could have been a go-ahead jump shot. And while this whole season McCall Bridges has been arguably the weakest link in the Knicks lineup, where he's been struggling at times with his shot and integrating himself to this Knicks team, he's finally been able to step up, especially in the second halves of games 1 and 2. These defensive plays are part of the reason why the Knicks traded for him this past offseason. With the series shifting to New York, the pressure mounts for Boston to squeeze a game at MSG to at least bring this series back to Boston for a potential Game 5. Comment your thoughts. Will the Knicks go up 3-0 or at least 3-1 in games 3 and 4, or will the Celtics rally to tie up the series at 2 games apiece?